Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about today's severe weather risk, which is actually a moderate risk, which is a big surprise considering yesterday morning we only had a slight risk. So this one is really ramped up and it's looking like we could actually have a severe weather outbreak today, actually. So before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you have any stories about hail that are unusual? What is the largest hail you've ever seen? Let me know in the comments down below and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now let's get into this video and we're taking a look at our categorical day one outlook, and look at that. We have an enhanced that takes over a lot of Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio, and then we also have a pretty large moderate risk there for a lot of eastern Michigan, and then also extreme northeastern areas in Indiana, and then northwestern Ohio there. That's our area of main concern. And our biggest concern today is going to be wind. Hail and tornadoes are possible, but we really think there could be widespread damaging wind. So we'll talk about all of that throughout this video. But first, let's get started with those individual outlooks, and we're looking at our day one wind outlook, and taking a look at that. We have in the green 5% chance. In the yellow, we have 15% chance. In the red, we have 30% chance. And in that purple shade, we have 45% chance within 25 miles of a given location of damaging wind being reported. And also in that hatched area, we have a chance for significant damaging wind. Today could be a pretty big day, and you're really going to want to be on the lookout for damaging wind in these areas. All right, now we're about to move on. We're going to take a look at that hail outlook and also the tornado outlook, which again, there is some slight risk that we see some of those implications. And then we're going to start getting into that modeled guidance where we're going to take a look at the simulated radar, the CAPE, also the bulk shear, things like that. They're going to tell us the full story of what's going to be going on today. All right, and here we are taking a look at that hail outlook, and you can see we have a 5% in that green and then a 15% in the yellow. And that yellow region is pretty big. Again, that's a 15% chance within 25 miles of a given location. We see a lot of Michigan in there, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia, a little bit of Virginia and Maryland, and then also Pennsylvania and Western New York, all included in that 50% chance of hail. And again, this is kind of that area I was eyeballing in my June outlook for a lot of the severe weather to be. And sure enough, that is what's taking place, which is very interesting to see that forecast panning out perfectly, in my opinion. Here's your tornado outlook. We have 2% in the green, and then we have 5% in that brown shade. So again, for Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky, we have a 5% chance. And considering everything that we're going to be seeing today, I would say we probably will see a couple of confirmed tornadoes at least. So we're really going to want to be on the lookout for that anywhere within these green or brown areas, because there is a chance, and these storms will be quite potent. So just really be aware throughout the day of some of those risks that could occur. All right, now we're about to move on. We're going to talk about that CAPE, our bulk shear, and our simulated radar. We're just going to take it hour by hour until we get to the end of the storm. And also at the end, as a bonus, we're actually going to talk about tomorrow's severe weather risk, which is quite slight, but we're still going to talk about it anyway. All right, and here we are taking a look at that CAPE, and this is basically when it's at its peak. I'm just taking a 1 hour frame here, and this is going to be kind of by about around the time I'm making this video, about 1 or 2 p.m. here, and we're taking a look at 1,000 to 2,000 CAPE in those green shades, and in the yellows we're looking at 2,000 to 3,000, and in the reds we're taking a look at 3,000 to 4,000. Anything above 1,000 is sufficient for severe weather, but those oranges and reds are only going to make it more likely that we see very strong thunderstorms, which again is going to increase that chance for severe thunderstorms. All right, now here's that bulk shear, and yesterday we had reds and golds. Today we only have about pinks and reds, which is probably why we have a little bit of a lower chance for tornadoes throughout the day today. Still, again, be on the lookout because it is possible, so don't take it too lightly, but the chance is definitely diminished from yesterday to today. Yesterday we had a much higher chance of tornadoes. Today we have a much higher chance of damaging winds and a lower chance for tornadoes and hail. All right, now let's get started with that simulated radar, and we're taking a look at about 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. here, and we're going to have some thunderstorms and showers building in for Indiana and possibly Illinois, and as you can see, Iowa as well. Let's go ahead and take that to about 2 p.m., and you can see those thunderstorms are really going to begin to build in for central Michigan, areas in eastern Indiana, and then western Ohio and northern Kentucky. Those are quite potent already and could be in the form of supercells, but they look multicellular in nature mostly. If we do get supercells, expect that there is a little bit more of an elevated chance for tornadoes, obviously, with that storm mode. So we're about to move on. We're just going to take this simulated radar an hour later, or a couple hours later actually, as we head further into the evening. We'll even take a look at that significant tornado parameter as well. And then we're just going to take it all the way till tomorrow and talk about tomorrow's risk as well. And this frame's by about maybe, I'd say 4 p.m. And you can see they are going to move into eastern Michigan and mostly in Ohio by this point. There will be some thunderstorms also around for Wisconsin and Illinois. But our main area of severe weather there is going to be located for that eastern Michigan area, as well as western Ohio and a little bit of northern Kentucky getting involved as well here by this point. And here's that significant tornado parameter. At this point, according to our HRRR model, I think that the highest chance for tornadoes is going to be for Ohio and Kentucky, but I can't rule it out for Michigan either. So if you're in any of these areas, be on the lookout. But at this point, this model specifically thinks that possibly Ohio and Kentucky will have a higher chance at tornadoes than Michigan, which is kind of interesting. And as you can see, by the time we're reaching maybe about 7 p.m. tonight, we can see they are going to be moved into central Ohio and mostly moved out for Michigan. And we see also eastern Kentucky getting involved there as well. Let's take it to about, it is maybe 9 p.m. and you can see extreme eastern Ohio now, western Pennsylvania maybe getting involved in western West Virginia there as well, getting involved with some of these more severe thunderstorms. By the time we're at about maybe 12 a.m. here, you can see also, again, western Pennsylvania, northern Pennsylvania, and even western New York getting involved, and then central West Virginia. And what we're going to do is we're about to move on. We're going to take a look at tomorrow's risks and just a little bit more of that severe weather that's going to be going on tomorrow. And then we will get into our comment of the day. Now, first things first, here's that categorical outlook we're taking a look at right now. And you can see for tomorrow, we have 2 areas of marginal risk. We could get an upgraded slight risk somewhere. Wouldn't be surprised at all. But you can see from South Carolina up through North Carolina, Virginia, and then the Delmarva as well, up through southern New Jersey and southeastern Pennsylvania, we have a marginal risk, and then also one there for upstate New York and northern Vermont. So let's talk about those individual outlooks quickly. Here's that wind outlook, and you can see that both areas have a 5% chance of damaging winds. So relatively low. Also, we have a chance for hail there in the South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia sector of these. So we have a little bit of a hail risk there. And then we also have a little bit of a tornado risk, but that's up for the New York and Vermont one, where there's a 2% chance of tornadoes within 25 miles of a given location. So there probably won't be a tornado, but we can't rule it out. So you're going to want to be on the lookout just in case one of these more potent storms up there does happen to drop a quick tornado. Let's go ahead and take a look at that simulated radar for tomorrow briefly. And this is by about 2 a.m. So you can see they're entering Virginia, and they're in the eastern side of West Virginia as well, northern Pennsylvania, and also we can see a lot of areas in upstate New York are getting involved here as well. Let's take it to, I would say, maybe about 6 a.m. here, and you can see they're a little less potent, but we do see some thunderstorms for upstate New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire there, as well as New Jersey and Pennsylvania. And then by about 9 a.m., you can see here, this is about 9 or 10 a.m. Eastern Pennsylvania getting involved. We also have some there for Maryland. This model isn't perfect, so we could have some more thunderstorms for the Delmarva than what this is picking up on. We're seeing areas in New York getting some pretty potent thunderstorms. Those look like actually the most potent that I've seen for this date. And then we can see southern Vermont getting a little bit of thunderstorms as well. So this is going to be a little bit of a widespread thunderstorm event for a lot of the Northeast. A lot of areas are going to get involved with these thunderstorms. All right, now I wanted to mention to you guys that you should join our Facebook group if you haven't already. It's been a long time since I've shouted that out. It's called Weather Freaks on Facebook. It's always in the pinned comment. You can also follow me on Twitter as well, which is going to be right there. But mostly I wanted to talk about the Facebook group. I love, love, love interacting with you guys. Actually, I shared a video of a really frequent lightning storm that I saw the other day. I was driving around at night, and I actually pulled into a parking spot where I could very clearly see these thunderstorms that were very far away, but just like lightning strike after lightning strike after lightning strike. And I just love posting stuff like that on there, and I love when you guys post stuff like that on there too. And if you're not a part of it, I just wanted to let you guys know that you could be, because it's so much fun just interacting with other people that love weather. Also, it gets crazy when there's well, winter was crazy because we always would talk about snowstorms coming up and model runs. That was a whole lot of fun. And I'm sure things are going to get crazy as we get into the hurricane season as well. So that's mostly why I wanted to bring this up. If you live along the coasts or anything and you do want to be a part of that, you love hurricane discussions or model or weather discussions in general, I would highly recommend you join that. Again, in the pinned comment up above. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, what is the highest risk you've had all year for severe weather? And SizBeats said, Ohio currently has a moderate risk, the highest I've seen this year. And I thought that one was probably the best comment to put on here since that's what we're talking about today. So be safe out there, SizBeats. Please, pay attention to the radar. Make sure nothing hazardous is happening around you, and just stay in shelter. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.